In case you came for the ChatGPT service, surprise! Life happens, doesn't it? And when life happens, we pivot and we come together. We come together in community, and it is so good to be here with you. Thank you for being here. Whether you're here in person or online, thank you for trusting us with your presence during this tender time for this congregation. I'm the Reverend Samaya Oakley, and I use she, her, and hers pronouns, and I get to journey alongside you this year as your minister. And what a time to be journeying along with you. This is made even more particularly tender and prescient as we all take time to absorb the news of Jane's death. It was news that took us all by surprise. We all thought we had just a little bit more time, although in different ways. Instead, her body gave out as she was in Hawaii quite unexpectedly. And you need to know that her last days were in the sun, doing touristy things, wearing a Hawaiian shirt, which was one of her goals. The turn was quite sudden and happened within 24 hours. And so we gather. We gather to come together and make sense of this, because it's just not fair. And we're not the first to grieve such a loss, nor will we be the last. And it is at times like this that we need the power of community to hold our grief. We come together to companion each other in our grief. It is in our acceptance of grief that allows us to live lives with more holy, so you can spell that with a W-H or an H, you choose, heart on sacred ground. And so we gather in our time of grief as people have done since time immemorial. We gather on the land that was and is becoming known Mohkinstsis, or the city of Calgary. As Treaty 7 people, we are just beginning to uphold and live into the promises that we made. This treaty brings us into relationship with the Blackfoot Confederacy. These are the Siksika, Piikani, and Kainai First Nations, as well as the Dene First Nations band, the Tsuut'ina, and the three bands of the Stoney Nakoda First Nation, the Bearspaw, Chiniki, and Goodstoney. Mohkinstsis is the Blackfoot name for this place. And it's also home to the Otipemisiwak Métis government of the Métis Nation within Alberta Districts 5 and 6. So let us now prepare our hearts and minds for worship.
One said April is the cruelest month, when worn-out promises return. There's more wisdom in the iris bud than all our centuries of words. See, as the flower opens, what is there to say? Oh, hear the vow unspoken in its sweet decay. This eternity of ebb and flowing. Oh, the cosmic ballet. Sweet dancing, sweet dancing, a dancer you must be. Sick woman in a sick bed, waiting, light fast fading in her eyes. Somewhere else another light is falling, turning into newborn cries. Oh, on the wind a sighing, calling out our names, saying, no, no, there is no dying, only changing face. You, my darling, are the rest and motion of the cosmic ballet. Sweet dancing, sweet dancing, and dancers you shall be.
We light this chalice today especially as a beacon in our search for wisdom amid the challenges of life and loss. Let us carry warmth to this cold season by coming together to share comfort, compassion, and resilience. Please join us now in singing our opening hymn, number 389, Gathered Here.
At this time, I'm going to invite Mitch and Marika up, and we are going to lead this in a round, the four of us. We're going to split you vertically in sections. So this section here will be singing with me, and this section in front of Marika will be singing with Marika, and likewise with Reverend Samaya and with Mitch. We are all going to start it together, and then I will take a section and through with Marika and Reverend Samaya and Mitch. And when we come to the end, you don't have to worry about when we end. I will give a last time signal, and that means that will begin, I will do that at the beginning of my last time through, which means that Mitch's group is going to be the one that finishes at the very end of that. And if that didn't make sense, it doesn't matter. Please stand as you are willing and able and join in singing Gathered Here. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near, gathered here in the mystery of the hour. Gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near, gathered here in the mystery of the hour. Gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near, gathered here in the mystery of the hour. Gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near, gathered here in the mystery of the hour. Gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near, gathered here in the mystery of the hour. Gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near.
Marcia?
Right. Ushers, please prepare to take the offering. The passing of the offering basket in the service is something that many of us might consider antiquated. We don't carry checkbooks or cash very much anymore. Instead, we submit our pledges through electronic transfer without giving it much thought, as the amount leaves our bank accounts automatically. We pass the basket still at each of our services symbolically, as a reminder that it's in our collective efforts that we fund our yearly programs, finance the beauty of this building, which will be improved this year. Quite noticeably, we have a plan. The board has a plan. And we pay our staff and professional religious leaders. This morning, you're invited to take a moment and hold the basket for just half a second, being conscious of its feel in your hands, and then place your contribution into it, whether real or symbolic. Whether it's a few loose coins in your pocket, a bill you have handy, or by taking a moment simply to send your gratitude to this congregation and its many ministries. If you're new here, please let the basket pass by. Your presence is enough of a gift to us this morning. If you're looking for ways to contribute your time, energy, or talent to our beloved community, please stop by the membership table in the Barker Room, right out there, to let us know. Each month, we choose one cause to share our donations. For the month of January, Our funds will go to the Flaming Chalice International, FCI. If this is where you'd like to direct your offering in an e-transfer or a check, please indicate 4 others, number 4, which would be backwards to you, yes, in the message with your e-transfer or on the offering envelope. The gifts to our congregation, from our congregation, will be most gratefully received.
Silence, holy ocean, gentle water washing over me. Help me listen, Holy Spirit, come and speak to me. Sacred silence, holy ocean, gentle water washing over me. Help me listen, Holy Spirit, come and speak to me.
Thank you, Gavin. That was beautiful. And very shortly, we come to my favorite time in the service, a time when we breathe together, when we are together, becoming, gathering into one strong body with our breath. So after I've talked a little bit about what we're going to do in our time of silence, or what I'm inviting you to do during our time of silence, you always have choice. We'll sit together in that time of silence, and Gavin will bring us out of that time of silence after 2 minutes, and he's timing, not me. Just in case you think I'm like dragging it on a little bit. We'll come out of silence with 352, hymn number 352, Find a Stillness. I'm going to invite you to do a body scan in your time of silence. Now, for some of you who are really practiced at this, 2 minutes is going to be like that. Others of you who are doing it for the first time are going to go, is this ever going to end? The thing about the body scan is use your breath as your anchor. Work your way from the top of your head down to the bottoms of the soles of your feet with your breath. Notice any tightness, any tension. You might have emotion come up. Elvis might walk by. Whatever happens, accept it and bring yourself back to your breath. So breathing in and breathing out. Feel that connection with each other in this room. And now, let us enter that reverent space of silence, checking in with our body.
Find a stillness, hold a stillness, let the stillness carry me. Find the silence, hold the silence, let the silence carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, watch the Spirit giving power. I will find true harmony. Seek the essence, sow the essence, let the essence carry me. Let me flower, help me flower, watch me flower, carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power, I will find true harmony.
always find that time so delicious. This morning, we take time to light a candle to honor Jane and the many gifts that she shared so freely with us. Let me be clear, this is not a celebration of life for her. That is not our time right now. We come together to hold the grief, the sadness, and the shock, and to be together in that. So as I light this candle, I invite you to hold Jane, to hold Cora, and to hold their family in love. We light our candle of global concern for all the people in the world who are on a cancer journey. It is one of the leading causes of death worldwide, accounting for nearly 1 in 6 deaths, nearly 10 million deaths in 2020 alone, according to the World Health Organization. And now, my dear ones, I invite you to come forward and light your candles of joys and sorrows. If you come up here, just a little bit of Candle 101 instruction. Start in the center and light the candles on the edge later. That way you won't burn your elbow or anything. And you start at the top and work down on the sconces. You can also come forward and put a pebble in our water communion water. Water that has been gathered, that nourishes and sustains us all. So, my dear ones, please come. Let me light 2 other final candles. One for all of those joys. Those moments when you brush your teeth and you catch your partner looking at you with a loving embrace. Those moments, or other embrace. I'm not going to go there. And I also light this final candle for all that weighs our hearts down. My dear ones, know that you are not alone.
Good morning. I'm Rachel Smith, and the reading this morning is by Forrest Church, coming from his book, Love and Death. And it actually puts me in mind of the story Sheila, our dearie, read us a few weeks, maybe months ago by now, but The Heart in the Bottle. Unless we armor our hearts, we cannot protect ourselves from loss. We can only protect ourselves from the death of love. Yet without love, nothing matters. Break your life into a million pieces and ask yourself, what of any real value might endure after you are gone? The pieces that remain will each carry love's signature.
Good morning. My name is Lynn Nugent. My pronouns are she and her. And this morning, by way of situating myself, my perspective about grief and mourning comes in part from my training as a death doula, my experience with hospice volunteering, and from conducting memorials as a lay chaplain on behalf of this congregation. I have experienced loss and grief, as have you all. Loss and grief are part of our human journey. Given that, how do we hold our grief? I find grief counselor and educator Alan Wolfelt's distinction between grief and mourning helpful as I try to navigate the pain of loss. He says, grief is the internal meaning that we give to the experience of loss. All those overwhelming feelings that we are experiencing on the inside. Mourning is the outward expression of grief. It's important to allow ourselves to mourn, to have an outlet for expressing our grief. This is often stonewalled in our society. We can sometimes feel like we have a contagious disease, judging by the responses we get when we're mourning a loss. How do we hold our grief in these circumstances? At Calgary Unitarians, we are fortunate to have a community, excuse me, to hold us in love and support as we grieve. Mourning rituals, both communal and individual, help us to hold our grief by allowing us to feel deeply and to express our pain. Grief is not a simple or an easy journey, and it is not linear. No one's journey is exactly the same, and each individual will have their own process. Grief ebbs and flows, and even like times can feel like a rogue wave, startling in its intensity. Understanding this can also help us to hold our grief. Grief changes us. Our lives are different when we have loved and lost a beloved friend, teacher, mentor, family member. A major loss becomes part of who we are as we relearn our world without the physical presence of that beloved person. Challenging, scary even, but our pain is the price of having love in our lives. May this love help us to hold our grief. May it be so. Amen and blessed be.
Good morning. My name is Mitch Mitchell. My pronouns are he, him, his. We may grieve for many things in life. The failure to achieve something we had pinned our hopes on, for not being chosen for a role we desired or a job we felt suited for, or the loss of abilities as we age. But what hurts most is the loss of relationship. When a friendship ends, it may be because the relationship was based on an activity you no longer participate in. I had several good friends in a curling group that I played with for a while, but when I left that league, neither they nor I made an effort to stay in touch. A few years ago, a friend moved away and the promised weekly updates by email petered out, to be followed by Christmas cards for a year or two and then nothing. But new friendships arise from new activities and new circumstances, and they grow when nurtured, and so the grief fades. When a romantic relationship ends, we may say, I could have done more, I could have been a better listener, a better partner, or even we just weren't right for each other. But we can assure ourselves that there are many others with whom we may connect in the future, and we try to choose well and be a better partner then. And so the grief fades. But when someone you're close to dies, you can't explain it away. They are gone, and the relationship you had with them is gone too. All you can do is cherish the memory through shared rituals and recollections of the good times you had together. About 10 years ago, a friend from university days passed away in another city, and I was shocked because I didn't even know David was sick. So we went to his funeral and reconnected with his family and some mutual friends. And when my good friend Anne died in 2018, the memorial service was critical to my dealing with the pain of loss. Somehow the shared sadness of loss and the shared recollections of happy times seem to help. And so the grief fades. How does grief fade? Well, we get on with life. We continue to work or volunteer. We regain our pastimes. And the sharp pain of the loss reduces to a dull ache, to be recalled on special occasions like birthdays or New Year's Eve, or a particular place or favorite activity. Each month is easier, though, and new memories overlay the old. And so the grief fades is what saves us. I don't mean to diminish the pain we feel at the moment of loss, but imagine how hard life would be if every pain we ever felt never diminished over time. No, we are saved by our human ability to recover from pain and loss and get on with our lives. Without that ability, I don't think the human race could have survived. And so the grief fades. Thank you.
Find a stillness, hold a stillness, let the stillness carry me. Find the silence, hold the silence, let the silence carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power, I will find true harmony. Seek the essence, hold the essence, let the essence carry me. Let me flower, help me flower, let the flower carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power, I will find true harmony.
Oh, that's my necklace against that. I'm sorry. I have taken off my socks and my shoes, and I am standing here with you on holy ground. This is tender ground. I had words prepared. If you picked up the script outside there, don't pay attention to it. You don't need me to read words to you. You need me to be with you. We need to be with each other. This is hard, isn't it? Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here, even though it is hard. Because your presence matters to somebody else in this room. It matters that we are here together. So I want to ask you, because I'm sure all of you, you remember the moment when you found out that Jane died. Where did you feel that in your body? So Lynn just put her fist to her chest like this. Where else did you feel it? Shout it out. In your belly. In your belly, right here, yes. Where else? Oh, I'm seeing somebody pulling her hair out back here, and in your heart, in your voice box. here. Oh, sorry. Maybe the lapel mic wasn't a great idea. But right here. For me, I felt like the bottom had just fallen out from under me. However you experienced it, that's your experience. And what we know about Greek work and what we know about spiritual practices is that ability to tie in that place where we feel that in our bodies and breathe into it and feel it. Feel it. You've already heard Mitch and Lynn talk about how grief is not linear. It's going to hit you out of the blue. And I was, as I was preparing for this morning, I thought of a poem that we read at Blue Christmas. It was a reading, more of a reading instead of a poem. And it told of this annual ritual that a couple had where every year before Christmas they got together over coffee in the morning and they wrote out a list of the people who died that year and remembered them. And you know what happens with lists in households, don't you? Well, on this particular list, the grocery list was, what we need from the store was printed on the back of it. So he's in the grocery store, he's paid for everything, and he's just doing this double check. Only he turned it the wrong way around, and he saw the names. And he thought, oh, I forgot this one. And he's standing outside the grocery store in the pouring rain, and he's immobilized with grief. And grief is like that. Grief is a little bit like an onion. Huh? Well, I'm a farm girl. Onions today are not like this, but when I grew up, if you were peeling onions, what happened to your tear ducts? Right? So, if we're going to look at the outside, this is our outer shell that happens. That moment that we heard about Jane dying, this just crumbled away. And we're left with these layers of onions. And the outside layers are pretty thin and they're pretty sharp. And it's like that with grief. It unfolds in layers. And so as you peel the layers, they're really sharp, and because they're thin, they peel frequently, and you feel that grief, and the tears flow readily. Now, this is where I want you to do not pay attention to what the world tells you to do in the middle of your grief. You do not have to buck up and get over it. You do not have to shove it under the rug and pretend it doesn't exist. Because we've all got our coping mechanisms, don't we? I was reading about some of the coping mechanisms about how to peel onions. Some people, they chill the onion or freeze it. Other people will run cold water while they're trying to peel the onion. Some people even say they light a match before they peel the onion. I'm sure you got others and know of others. And it's like that with grief. We all have our own coping mechanisms. Whatever it is, it's yours. Use it. Delve deep into that spiritual practice, whether it's saying a mantra when you're brushing your teeth or going and taking the dog for a walk in the morning, and that is just your morning ritual. Whatever it is, if you meditate for 5 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, 2 minutes, whatever it is, dig deep into that spiritual practice use it, and remember that you are not alone. Every single person in this room right now is experiencing grief, is feeling tender, is feeling raw. And you have that ability to be there for them just as they will be there for you. You are sacred, you are holy, and you can be that for each other. I'm only your minister. Seriously, you would talk to each other a lot more than you talk to me. And I know that you love me and I love you. But you are there for each other more. This community matters. How you hold each other in this time matters. So there's going to be times in the days and the weeks and the months to come where you can be there for someone and they will be there for you. It might not be the same person. That's okay. Because we are together one community, one beloved community that matters. The work we do in the world matters. It's important that we stay together. And I think of that bright light of Jane, who would want us to do that. She would want us to move forward, to be present, to be with each other, to hold each other. That is why we are on sacred ground right now. We are in a place where people find themselves throughout history and will continue to find themselves there. But what we do in this space, in this time together as a community will matter. So let's be there for each other as we peel the layers of grief away. That is the only way that we can grow into the fullness of who we are as a human being. Otherwise, we get stuck. So feel the pain, feel the grief, and feel the delight and the joy in the world as well, particularly when you're singing, because I know that would give Jane a smile. May it ever be so. Amen. Namaste. Blessed be.
Creating this space and taking this action takes a tremendous amount of courage. So I invite you to stand now and let's sing about that courage. Courage, my friend, you do not walk alone. We will walk with you and sing your spirit home. Just dance, my friend, you do not walk alone. We will walk with you and sing your spirit home. Freedom, my friend, you do not
please remain standing. I am going to invite you to actually, if you either touch the shoulder of the person next to you or the hand of the person next to you. Imagine feel that hand, or imagine that hand in yours, and know that that hand in yours belongs to a person whose heart is sometimes tender, whose skin is sometimes thin, whose eyes sometimes fill with tears, and whose laughter is the most beautiful sound. The hand in yours belongs to a person who is seeking wholeness and knows that you are doing the same. So as you leave this place, may your hearts remain open. May your voices stay strong. May your hands remain outstretched. Oh, wait. Wait.
That's just a teaser.
I know.
As the chalice flame disperses, fire to air, we can hold its light as we hold memories deep within. We'll see the light rekindle in each other's eyes, bringing comfort and strength. And a quick reminder that the Grief Circle will start in this space in 15 minutes if you'd like to attend. There's coffee and tea as well, and some goodies both in terms of food and conversation in Wickenden, so please join us. We'd love to start to get to know you or deepen our relationships. And a greeting and a blessing as well to those on Zoom.